Man is the only living being that enters this world crying. Why? Because the obstetrician tells us crying helps the newborn child to breathe and puts his lungs to work. Well, we're of a different opinion. We believe that man is merely trying to express his disappointment at being brought into such a dog's life. And in fact, if it's a boy, and moreover a handsome one, the same thing that happened to Rossano Brazzi when he incautiously entered a large American department store to buy a shirt could happen to him. But even a girl might find herself shut up in a cage until she's put on those 265 pounds that make her almost, but not quite eligible for marriage in her country. Then in our part of the world, if she wants to slim down to normal size, she has to undergo the same atrocious torture that caused the famous Lithuanian ethnologist Elsa Kunkala to exclaim,
"Oh, blessed knife, though I can't find my heart's ease, why be mortified? God who has made these hands would understand if I plunged you deep into this tired, poor old heart."
But finding a husband isn't an easy task even for the beauties. In certain regions of Queensland, in fact, the competition on the part of the women is terrific. The men, difficult to please because of the abundance of choice, insist on a 3-day free trial before they make up their minds on what might be just a temporary arrangement. A dog's life naturally for the animals, too. Choosing from a lot of cases, here are a few, just for example. What a lot of trouble man's greed for foie gras costs the geese of Strasbourg. Not to mention the sharks off the Sandwich Islands, which are fed prickly sandwiches. Or certain Japanese calves forced not only to drink beer, but the very beer that made Yokohama famous. And what about these poor pigs from New Guinea invited to take part in a mortal picnic? A dog's life, it is true, even if the animals sometimes manage to pay us back. In Portugal, for instance, the bulls put on such an original show that the famous New Zealand zoologist, Zenobia Rolls-Royce, couldn't help from exclaiming,
"Oh, blessed knife, though I can't find my heart's ease, why be mortified? God who has made these hands would understand if I plunged you deep into this tired, poor old heart."
Even the life of the arts is a dog's life. Take what happened in this Parisian studio. It cannot be explained by the narrator.
You're fooling. I know you can explain.
No, young lady, believe me, there are certain things that baffle me, and I beg you not to interrupt. You see, I can't even explain why the girls run after the men in the Solomon Islands, and why the men run away when they're being chased. Just as I can't explain why in our part of the world some men chase some girls, and what secret means some girls use to convince some men to chase them. And don't ask me to explain why certain fish wink at girls, because I really couldn't.
You're fooling. You can explain.
Young lady, stop tripping me up. I've told you I can't. As I was saying, even the high life, as we were able to prove through certain personal experiences of ours in the most elegant European nightclubs and restaurants, is often but a dog's life. At this point, we must confess that a certain tendency of ours to be controversial was about to deceive us as we approached the doors of a large industrial center where we went to see the miracle of man's work multiplied thousandfold. But unfortunately, we were forced to conclude that even life in the modern and efficient organizations is, after all, a dog's life. But I can't explain the reasons to you, young lady, not even these reasons.
You're fooling. You can explain.
I told you I can't, that means I can't. Now, as I was saying, a dog's life is a picture that, though facing squarely some of the most unpleasant aspects of today, still has many gentler sequences dedicated to feminine grace. But more than that, it doesn't lack those exquisite lyrical touches that want to indicate a vein of sincere optimism in its authors and a trust in a happier tomorrow. That happy tomorrow that made the famous Swiss anthropologist Margaret Nestle exclaim,
"Oh, blessed knife, though I can't find my heart's ease, why be mortified? God who has made these hands would understand if I plunged you deep into this tired, poor old heart."
Kinneritz presents A Dog's Life. 2 years of efforts, sacrifices, dangers. 2 years in a world never previously observed by the movie camera. A Dog's Life. 2 hours of daring, tragic, pathetic, comic, hypocritical, sincere. But above all, never seen on the screen before. This film will convince you that ours is really a dog's life. A dog's life in which, however, everyone will feel perfectly at home.